Welcome to Beyond the Box Score, the channel where the numbers matter. But the story matters even more. Today, we take you deep into the intensity of one of the most fascinating matchups of the 2025 NBA playoffs: Golden State Warriors vs. Minnesota Timberwolves. Game 3 of the Western Conference Semifinals. And make no mistake, this is more than just a basketball game. This is a turning point in the series, a test of culture, courage, and killer instinct. The series is tied 1-1. Game 1 went to the Warriors, holding Minnesota to just 88 points. Game 2, a Timberwolves eruption and emphatic 117-93 victory that silenced the doubters and swung momentum north. But now, with the Chase Center roaring back to life and the pressure higher than ever, both squads must dig deeper than they've ever dug before. And there's one name casting a shadow over everything: Stephen Curry, Golden State's heartbeat. The architect of their dynasty, the man who breaks defenses with a glance. But he's not playing tonight. Curry suffered a grade 1 hamstring strain in the first half of Game 1 and has been officially ruled out for at least a week. That means Game 3, Game 4, and potentially Game 5 will be without the greatest shooter in basketball history. That's not a setback, it's an earthquake. So how does Golden State respond? They turn to Jimmy Butler. A midseason acquisition many questioned, but none are questioning now. Butler was brought in for nights exactly like this: high stakes, pressure-packed, gritty basketball. He's the type of player who thrives when others shrink. Expect Butler to play north of 40 minutes, guard multiple positions, and act as the emotional compass for this roster. Butler's presence also frees up Buddy Hield, another player who needs to be a flamethrower in Curry's absence. Hield is streaky, yes, but when he gets hot, defenses collapse, and Golden State's ball movement returns to its deadly rhythm. Then there's Pat Spencer, the former lacrosse star turned NBA fighter. No one expected him to be a difference maker, but his defensive toughness and court IQ have made him a quiet anchor in this turbulent time. Expect Spencer to log major minutes, possibly even guarding Anthony Edwards at times. Let's not forget the glue of this team, Draymond Green. His stat lines rarely pop, but his influence is undeniable. Green is the Warriors' tactical brain on the court. He'll orchestrate the defense, call out rotations, switch on to Randle and Edwards, and crash the boards like a madman in a close game. His voice is often louder than the scoreboard, but the Timberwolves? They're not intimidated. Not anymore. Anthony Edwards is transforming into a superstar before our eyes. He's averaging over 29 points per game in the playoffs and doing it with ferocity, finesse, and flair. After spraining his ankle in Game 2, most thought he'd sit the rest of the night. Instead, he came back, scored 10 more points, and gave his team a jolt of belief. That's the kind of Warrior mindset that lifts a franchise. This Wolves team is no longer just young and exciting. They're legitimate. Julius Randle, another midseason move, is finally embracing his role. In Game 2, he posted a double-double, took advantage of mismatches in the post, and imposed his physicality. If he continues to dominate inside, Golden State will be forced to collapse, opening the floor for shooters like McDaniels and Conley. And speaking of Jaden McDaniels, the guy has been everywhere. His length, his instincts, his ability to defend across 4 positions, it's causing nightmares for the Warriors' backcourt. He doesn't need to score 20, he just needs to keep playing disruptive, intelligent basketball. So far, he's doing just that. Now, let's talk numbers, because this is beyond the box score after all. According to DraftKings, FanDuel, and OddsShark, the Warriors enter as slight favorites at 2.5 despite Curry's absence. Why? One word: home court. Golden State has won an astonishing 73% of their playoff games at home since 2015. That's no fluke. The Chase Center crowd is intense, intelligent, and intimidating. Role players become legends under those lights. But Minnesota is built to travel. They've won 6 of their last 7 on the road. including playoff games against seasoned teams. They're physical, mentally sharp, and don't back down from hostile crowds. Let's go further into the advanced analytics. With Curry off the floor, the Warriors' offensive rating drops from 115.8 to 107.2. That's a massive dip. The ball movement stagnates, spacing shrinks, and transition opportunities are limited. Meanwhile, Minnesota boasts the number one rated playoff defense in 2025. They're holding opponents to just 42%, shooting and forcing over 13 turnovers per game. That's not just solid, that's championship caliber. But basketball isn't just about numbers. It's about moments, decisions, hustle plays. Who wins the 50-50th ball? Who keeps their head with 90 seconds left and the game tied? And that's what Game 3 will come down to. Now let's project what this slugfest could look like. In the first quarter, expect both teams to feel each other out. The Timberwolves will likely double Butler on early touches, daring Hield and Kuminga to hit from deep. Golden State, on the other hand, will rotate heavily, conserving legs for the second half. But the third quarter, that's where things heat up. Expect Edwards to go on a run. He thrives after halftime adjustments, and his confidence will only grow if the Warriors' defense gives him any daylight. Still, the Warriors will counter. Look for Draymond to anchor a small ball lineup with Butler, Hield, Kuminga, and Moody, pushing the pace and forcing Minnesota into mismatches. But in the final 6 minutes, it's going to be trench warfare. Slow possessions, defensive walls, gut checks. And here's our prediction. Final score, Golden State Warriors 104, Minnesota Timberwolves 100. Jimmy Butler scores 28, Hield adds 18 with 4 threes. Draymond tallies 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 game-changing steals. On the other side, Edwards puts up 30 again. Randle chips in 18 and 12, but in the closing moments, Minnesota's offense tightens up, and Golden State's experience carries them through. The Warriors take a 2-1 lead. But this series, it's far from over. If Minnesota takes Game 4, we're looking at a potential 7-game thriller. So what does this mean for the Western Conference as a whole? If the Wolves steal one at Chase, they could be the team no one wants to see in the finals. But if Golden State wins again without Curry, it might be one of Steve Kerr's most masterful playoff stretches ever. That's why we'll be back after every game with breakdowns, insights, and no-holds-barred predictions. Hit that like button if you're hyped for Game 3. Drop your score predictions in the comments. Does Butler carry the load, or does Edwards go off again? And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we're not just recapping games. We're digging into the soul of basketball. This is Beyond the Box Score, and this series, it's just getting started.